What's up, YouTube? My name is Jason, and this is my take. And I'm back with another video, but today we're not going to be doing an album review. We're going to be diving into a new series that I want to start on this channel, and it's called From Worst to First. And in this series, I'm going to do the ranking of an artist's entire discography. Strictly albums, no mixtapes, just their studio albums. I hope to do one a month along with my other reviews, but I thought who better to start with than Champagne Papi, Drake himself. So in this video, I'm gonna go from worst to first when it comes to Drake's catalog. Just to go ahead and start, the the projects that will not be in this ranking are So Far Gone, his collab with Future, What a Time to Be Alive, and Dark Lane demo tapes. Those will not be in the rankings. There are only his 8 studio albums here that I'm gonna include. You know, I'm a Drake fan, and honestly, if you hear me talk about Drake and my takes on him and like his projects, you might not think I'm a fan, but I'm very critical of people that I enjoy and whose music that I really like. So Drake is one of those guys that I'm really hard on, especially when it comes to his music as of late. And we'll kind of dive into that as we get into the list. But, you know, let's dive into it. From 8 to 1, these are Drake's albums ranked, in my opinion. And I feel like I'm already gonna, have a lot of people disagreeing here, but in my opinion, at number 8, Drake's worst album is Views. And the thing is, this should be number 1. I think that this album, when, I'll still listen to it, I come back to it, and I'm just like, with what he was doing and the songs and different things, this was supposed to be one of those ones. But I think that there were so many just awful moments that bring this album down, despite some highlights as well. You got songs like Hype, Still Here, Western Road Flows, Child's Play, Controller. I mean, Summer's Over interlude is one of the best songs on the project, and Drake's not even on it. Moments where, Drake's delivery, his style, and his rapping were really dope, his singing as well. But then you have songs like 9, where Drake is talking about turning a 6 upside down and we have a new number, to his chain going dang-a-lang. Still can't believe he said that. Faithful with like a weird just like insertion of a Pimp C like verse, or like a piece of a verse. Grammys, Pop Style, where Drake has just an awful Channing Tatum bar. Hotline Bling, which is just like, drums, cha-cha, just, derivative. Like there were just moments where I was just really confused as to what Drake was doing. It was really disappointing because like I said, I listen to this and I hear the great, amazing moments, and this album is just supposed to be much better than it is. And I mean, a lot of people think that it is, but that's y'all. That it's not me. Number 7 on the list is Scorpion. And I think that Scorpion was kind of doomed to fail from the jump, because Drake had this album complete, but then made many adjustments after he took one of the biggest L's in his career, and that being Pusha T coming at him and exposing some things about him, more specifically him having a child that was supposed to be announced by Drake during an Adidas press run. It got ugly, Pusha got disrespectful, and Drake mentioned some of this stuff on the album, and it was really weird. The way he was talking about it was odd, not good. The hiding the child from the world stuff. This thing was also 25 songs, which I'm sure it was not supposed to be. It was split into kind of 2 albums, a more rap side and a more singing side. If Drake had released just the rap side, this might be higher on the list, maybe, because the R&B side was just not good. You had Ratchet Happy Birthday, which is just, I feel like Drake wishes he didn't make that song, looking back on it. You got Summer Games, or like Don't Matter to Me, with like just a weird Michael Jackson like posthumous, verse or hook, just did not sound good. Then you got like I'm Upset on the rap side. Elevate. Just it was just another Drake project where it's just like this is just supposed to be better than it was. Like a lot of ideas on here just didn't hit. A very bloated record with a lot of filler. And being that this is one of Drake's more recent releases, it's just been disappointing. You know, he usually puts out 20 plus songs, but you know, in other instances, it's top to bottom consistently a good time and a great sounding project. But when it comes to albums like Scorpion, where he scrapped ideas and rewrote and added things, it really, to me, broke up what could have been a cohesive project. Number 6 on my list is the most recent album from Drake, and that being Certified Lover Boy. I was actually very excited when Drake first announced this project. The title itself, it just felt so Drake. I really felt like we were gonna, maybe, take it back to like the Take Care days. Drake, rapping and singing, and being emotional, but also being aggressive and disrespectful, like he always is. He always is calling somebody out, and we got those things on here. But just like Scorpion, it was just mediocre. This is probably Drake's most like mediocre project. After listening to it as much as I did, you had great moments like Champagne Poetry, Poppy's Home, Fair Trade, Knife Talk, 7 a.m. on Brittle Path. Yeba's Interlude was one of the best songs on the project, and Drake wasn't even on it. But then there are just different head scratching moments on this thing. You got Way Too Sexy, and yeah, we know about that. Girls Want Girls, where Drake comes out as a lesbian. Race My Mind, which I'm still confused as to why this was on the album. No Friends on the Industry track, where I'm still confused as to how Drake has no friends, but he has so many, over a beat that just didn't hit. This album just had good moments, a bunch of mediocre moments, and bad moments. And it always confuses me because Drake is just so much better than that. Drake isn't mediocre. He's far from it. But Scorpion and Certified Lover Boy were his most recent projects, and they were just that, just mediocre to not good. Number 5 on my list is More Life, and Drake can call it a playlist. We gonna call it an album because that's how it was technically released. And this is a project that really grew on me after its initial release back in 2017, I want to say. 2017. Because even though, when it comes to Drake and, his doing Afrobeats, more Caribbean style beats, there was a lot of that on this project, but I thought Drake executed it very well when it comes to songs like Passion Fruit, Medib Rhythm, Get It Together. Like I really enjoyed how Drake was approaching, these styles of beats. But then you got bangers like Portland, Free Smoke. Like my problems with like a Certified Lover Boy or a Scorpion were not really issues on this project, because I think other than like a few tracks, like this was a consistent project that got all the good parts of Drake. And more than anything, like this was probably one of Drake's smoothest projects. Like I think this is like such a vibe, honestly, and you can play it. It does have a playlist feel, honestly. I don't like that Drake got away with with calling it that and dubbing it that, but it does kind of have that feel. And More Life is a project that I do enjoy and go back to. And I'm glad that I gave it more listens, because I don't know, I wasn't feeling it initially. Number 4 on my list is Drake's debut studio album, Thank Me Later. Such a nostalgic project that has so many of the big hits that we know Drake for today. Whether it's Over, Miss Me, Fancy. We get a Jay-Z and Drake collab. I think this is the first time they collabed on the song Light Up, which was a really dope moment. Shut It Down is like one of my favorite Drake songs of all time, that he did with The Dream. Just a lot of great moments. Drake's singing was really cool when you think about like The Resistance or Karaoke. This is really when Drake broke out. He had So Far Gone the year before, but with this album, he really, made a name for himself. And the popularity and the Drake that we know today, it really started with Thank Me Later. So many great moments on this thing. I feel like this is one of the projects that I know like word for word every song. Yeah, this is really a moment. I remember being in middle school when this album came out. It just brings back a lot of memories, and I still thoroughly enjoy this project. Number 3 on my list is 2013's Nothing Was the Same. Now, just like Thank Me Later was nostalgic, this album brings back way more memories for me. This was all I listened to when this thing came out in 2013. It was senior year of high school, the beginning of senior year for me. This is all I was playing, man. I love this album. I think that one thing that I always give Drake credit for is his intros. Like, he always has great intros, whether it's on his best project or his worst. And I think that his greatest intro track was on this album with Tuscan Leather. 3 different beats using the same Whitney Houston sample and Drake just going in. You got Furthest Thing and his singing in the beginning, and then that dope transition into him rapping over that like choir sample. Pound Cake is one of my favorite Drake songs, with Jay-Z coming in and delivering 2 great verses. If you want to call it Jay-Z song, I'm cool with that as well. Like, that song was great. All Me with 2 Chainz and Big Sean. Come Through, which is just a classic Drake song. Connect, like this album had a lot of great moments. One of his biggest songs being more poppy, Hold On, We're Going Home. He had Janae Aiko on this thing. Like, there are just so many dope parts to this album. And Drake was just really in a groove at this point. Like there was really nothing that he couldn't do. We've made it to our top 2. And at number 2, I gotta go with If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. What Drake did on this project, especially the significance of him releasing this project just out of nowhere, and his issues with Young Money or with Cash Money, and label disputes and different things. I did not expect this album to be as good as it was, given that it wasn't really planned like that. Just starting off with Legend, Energy, 10 bands, No Telling, like, I think this album might have like the best like start, like just consistent tracks. And you got like Star 67, you got 6 p.m. in New York, Jungle, which is like one of Drake's like best like songs where he's singing, like one of his best singing songs easily. And Drake just being in that 6 guy mode. This was like, I call this 6 guy Drake. One of my favorite Drakes, and I want more of 6 guy Drake personally. And we kind of get pieces of it, on his later projects, but nothing like what he did here. He was rapping with so much confidence, singing very comfortably. Has some dope features from like Travis Scott. Party Next Door shows up on this thing. Wayne is on there. And I think just from an energy standpoint, this is Drake at his highest energy. And I was all here for it. Easily some of Drake's best production. I really want another project like this. Of course I want one like what's gonna be number 1 on this list, but If You're Reading This is just, I remember being in the library my freshman year when this thing came out. It was really just a moment. And that's why I made it to number 2, man. And I go back to this project so much. So yeah, If You're Reading This is Too Late at my number 2 spot. And so that obviously means that at number 1, what I believe is Drake's best project is Take Care. This is Drake's sophomore album following 2010's Thank Me Later. And it's a classic. I've had conversations with people who have asked, does Drake have a classic under his belt? And I think that if the answer is yes, is this album. I say yes, and I say that Take Care is a classic. I think that everything that Drake does as an artist, what we know him for, like, he did it the best on this thing. You got songs like Marvin's Room, where he's really in that, like, what people call Drake like light-skinned soft boy. Like, this is like that, like times 10, and it made for one of his most memorable tracks. Another great intro with Over My Dead Body. You got Lower Nose with Ross, YOLO, HYFR, both of those with Wayne. One of my all-time favorite Drake songs and Cameras, Good Ones Go. Kendrick Lamar had like his own interlude in here. It's one of like the few moments we get with Drake and Kendrick together before their beef. And man, Drake just like, man, like this is right before Nothing Was the Same. And to do this on your second album, to make just so many hits, like there, that I don't think there's a song I dislike. Maybe the song with Nicki, I'm not even thinking of the name right now. Like that's just the moment that sticks out just because it was underwhelming compared to everything else. But top to bottom, man, this album is a classic. Like Drake really does no wrong, and all of the qualities that we know Drake for, like his best of those qualities show up here, without question. And you know, like sometimes there have been talks about a Take Care tour. Drake would do that. I would be so here for that. I think that this was really a moment in the early 2010s. I think it was 2011 when this album came out. You know, you go to a high school basketball game, this song would be playing. Like Drake was really showed out on this project. Yes, of course, I still go back to this thing a lot. It's projects like this that really kind of make me sad, like today and right now, and just that, like, I haven't gotten that Drake in such a long time. Like, that was 10 years ago. And I just feel like Drake can still do those things, and he hasn't really done it right now, with the projects that he's been releasing. But I always hold out hope that I'm going to get another classic Drake project, despite how long it's been since. But yeah, guys, those are from worst to first, my ranking of Drake's albums. So what you guys think of my ranking of Drake's albums? Did you love it? Did you hate it? You know, let's have a discussion in the comments. Tell me how you would rank Drake's 8 albums. I'm very curious to see what your list looks like. Tell me if my list was trash. You're wrong, but tell me if it's trash. So like I said, I'm gonna try to do one of these videos once a month. I'm thinking for my next one, it'll probably be either Kanye, Tyler, the Creator, or maybe J. Cole. But let me know in the comments what you would want to see. What discography you want me to rank. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another week of Jason's Take. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm Jason. This has been my take, and I'll see you guys next time.